Hello, everyone, and welcome to this panel discussion titled Behind the Music, featuring some of the industry's finest, Mayowa and Jane Handcock. My name is Adeola Adeniyi, a senior honors marketing major, film minor at Howard University, and I am honored to have the opportunity to moderate today's discussion and soak in all the great words that I know that we will be hearing from the two of you today. So before we start, if we could please just tell us about yourselves and don't be humble because we know the resume is stacked. So please inform the audience about your talents.
Cool. So thank you, Adeola. My name is Mayowa. I do a lot of things, but I have a company called Tapin XR. We're a creative marketing and film production company. Done a lot of different work with different artists and labels in the industry. From Kelly Rowland to Eric Bellinger to OVO Sound to Warner to, usually I don't even like to really say what we've done, but you kind of just said, let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. And I also recently now work at Red Bull Records. I am the creative marketing manager there. So work with all the artists on the label and oversee rollouts, activations, and experimental opportunities in the music industry. So experiential. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
What's up, y'all? My name is Jane Handcock. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer. I have worked and written for a lot of people. Kelly Rowland, Raphael Sadiq, Rick Ross. I'm so terrible with this. A lot though. I'm on Google and I'm on all digital platforms. I'm just an artist.
You know they got a good resume when they can't even remember the resume off the top of their head. Like she said all them names, it was like, I'm forgetting some. I said, you're forgetting some. Okay. Okay. So Jane, thank you so much. I wanted to know what even inspired your decision to pursue a career in the music industry, and looking back at the moment when you first decided that this is where you want to work, can you even imagine that where you are right now is where you will be?
I think I kind of came out the womb just wild and crazy with it. I was like 3 years old and I knew I wanted to do something in music. I knew I loved the stage. I began in church. I began singing in church, and I knew that not only did I love the stage, but I loved what my gift did to people, and I loved, just to be able to touch people and connect with people through song and art and music. So I always kind of knew I wanted to do something in music. My mom ended up putting me in Oakland School for the Arts when I was in the 10th grade. And that really cultivated a lot of my mindset. I think that's what stamped me really, really wanting to do music for a living. And then I've just honestly been grinding with it and hustling with it ever since. So I always kind of knew what I wanted to do. There were times where I never thought I'd be where I am. But then there were always, I always had that mustard seed faith to know that, I'm grinding, and you have to literally be crazy to grind and think and dream the way I do. And I'm certified that. So, it pays off.
I've always had a love for music. I actually started out in the music industry as an artist. And it's funny, I was actually thinking about this last night, actually. I'm 26 now. I've been doing music since I was 16, so I just always had a passion. I just always wanted to be the next Drake, Jay-Z, Kanye, and 10 years later, I'm still, pursuing my dreams, just in a different path, more on the business, creative marketing path, which is, I realize, sometimes in life, God takes you down certain paths, and you just have to be open to those paths, what you might want, what you might think that you're supposed to be doing. God leads you down a certain direction. You're studying marketing and film. Who knows? You might get into biology, or an energy solar company might approach you with a job to do marketing. And you're like, whoa, like I know, so it's like, I just have learned to, I don't know if I'm answering your question right now, but I've just learned to be open, and, my passion is just rooted in music, and, I just always had a passion for it at a young age.
Mm-hmm. Never say never. You said, you are open to all these opportunities, and, the path that you wanted to take originally isn't the path that you're down now. And so for those people who are in college, or even those who are trying to get into the music industry, like right out of high school, can you kind of talk about your experience transitioning from education into getting into the music industry, or, just ways that you can improve your chances to even get the door open in the music industry in general?
Definitely. Kind of like to my point that I was just saying about me starting at a young age, I would say start early, make mistakes early. It's like I said, it's funny to think about, but like, I consider myself almost damn near a vet. I'm 10 years in the game, and a lot of people don't get 10 years into the game until they're like 30, or 35. And, even though I'd like to say like, half of that time I did kind of more like learning and messing up and more like amateur. And the second 5, I've been more going, more professional, more learning. But yeah, I would just advise anybody wanting to get into the music industry to just start now. Even if you don't know what you want to do, or even if you know what you want to do, but you don't know how to get there, you just got to start now, research, look at the people that you admire to be, and look at their success footprints. Because I always say that success leaves trails. If you study the greats, you'll become the greats. At the end of the day, there's nothing really new under the sun. Everyone's kind of done everything. It's just they do it in a different way. So yeah, start early. Also, I like to say, like, have like a vision board, write down your goals. Even though I feel like I need to get better at writing down my goals, but like I have like a little home office, and I like have like a Forbes 30 under 30 like poster here. I have like Rolling Stones Future 25. I have like all these different things on my wall that I want to aspire and be. And I wake up and I look at those things, and, I feel like manifesting and visualizing is half the step to actually making it real.
I would say, I was just talking to BJ, the Chicago kid, shout out to him. And we just linked up last week. And he said something to me that was just so real. He said, you got to love it. You have to love it even when it's not so lovable. When you really want to get in and build something that is bigger than yourself and where you come from and the people around you, it's not going to always be lovable. And you have to love what you do genuinely, because there are going to be times that you really have to rely on just that, and if you don't love it, it'll be easy to give up. It'll be easy to just say whatever. And not that you won't have those contemplating moments, but the love for it will always, I'm married to my passion. I'm married to my assignment in this. So, of course, sometimes you be wanting to break up with a boo because they getting on your nerves or whatever. But, you always have to go back to your love for it for real.
So on an average work day, what is the list of responsibilities that your current role consists of?
I think now my assignments, I'm working on my album. I'm working on just music, period. I'm in a great place right now to where literally my assignment is to make the best music I can possibly come out making. And I wake up and I treat it like a job. I'm at the studio every day. I may take 1 or 2 days off in the week just to kind of go and inspire myself to do something else, to just kind of, get that refreshed mind. But I treat this literally like a 9 to 5, maybe even more than a 9 to 5. But, I literally wake up and I head to the studio.
being where you are now, what has that journey looked like? Like, has it always, did you ever expect to be Jane Handcock, like who you are today?
Ooh, child. I always did. And then, you kind of are in the thick of grinding and hustling. And then sometimes you're like, is this going to really happen for real? Mm-hmm. And then one day things just kind of click. This year has been such a whirlwind, in a great way. It's almost like the turning point, into like a new chapter that I feel. So I always kind of knew that it was going to be this way. I always knew that, or at least I longed to be here and longed to, just really get started on more of a major scale. So that's what I'm about to be entering into pretty soon. And it's just an honor, really.
Yeah, so I mean, it varies. So like I was saying before, like before I stepped into my role at Red Bull, I was running my own company, and Tap In, I don't think I really went too deep into it, but Tap In was founded to be a music, tech, and culture company, and a creative house to produce just content and technology and activations. And it's kind of different because I've never actually worked at a corporate company before. I've always been an entrepreneur my whole life, kind of deciding my own schedule. So I feel like as an entrepreneur, like I have kind of two perspectives on it, right? So as an entrepreneur, you're running your own company, which a lot of people are doing nowadays. You have to even be more on top of your game than I think when you're working inside of a company, because when you're when you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you're your own boss, sometimes, you work with small teams, but you have to be kind of holding yourself accountable. So, the list of responsibilities varies. It depends if there's productions, events, products being built, but, usually it always feels like a full-time job no matter what. And then working inside of a company, it's a lot different. Like I said, when you work with other people, it's there's also a plus to it because you have people holding you accountable, and which is also a great thing to have. I think whether you work inside of a company or you work out in your own company, it's important to have people that hold you accountable and make you strive to be the best person and entrepreneur you can be.
Yeah. So people often speak about the fact that some artists fail because they're surrounded by yes men. And you talked about in this industry, you need, or just in general, to be successful, you need to have an EQ and be self-aware, and that, you have to have people around you that you rely on. But how do you personally toe the line between being empowered or being hindered in your growth and development by those who are around you?
Man, the number one thing that I always said is go with your gut. Like, there's like this sixth sense that if you have emotional intelligence where you'll be able to just tell if it's the right or wrong decision, and if you can't tell, which not everyone knows everything, like there's always got to be one person in your life that you can call and be like, hey, can I just vent to you? Can I ask you this? And everyone has different people. Like my one person is my mama. I'm a mama's boy, so like I call her at any time. Like, she's my mom. She's my business consultant. She's my therapist, my lawyer, even though she's not a lawyer, she doesn't give me like lawyer advice, but she's like, I think you should go talk to her. Like, she'll give me advice, so I think you just got to go with your gut and then just have like one person, even though you might have like a circle of like 5-10 people, maybe more. I tend to keep my circles pretty small, but, I think you should be able to rely on one person where you can just vent everything to, and they should be able to give you, verification on what your gut feeling is, and usually, if that person really knows you, they'll tell you exactly what your gut was already telling you, Mm-hmm. So.
I think I always I like to just be around people who are authentic, and I don't like to be around people who agree with me all the time. Mm-hmm. I like to have those people that's like, well, let me play devil's advocate. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this perspective? I think I learned that way. I learn from, me and my friends having these fun debates and fun arguments. That's kind of like the nucleus of a lot of our ideas and everything is, just not being yes men. If it's tight, we gonna, lift each other up. But in lifting each other up, we hold each other accountable too. So, I love that. I need to be around that because anything else is just weird to me.
Personally, my gut has never steered me in the wrong direction. And I know I always try to have people around me who are not trying to say things for me to feel better about myself, but tell me the truth. Exactly. And so I think that's just super important, especially when you're trying to be successful in an area that not everyone wants to see you succeed. So they won't always tell you the truth. So exactly. Love what you said. You said before that it's not who you know, but who knows you. So how important is networking in the music industry, and how do you recommend someone go about doing it effectively? And is there a wrong way to network?
It's a great question. I think that networking is essential, but I also think it can go wrong if you go about it the wrong way. And again, it comes back to emotional intelligence. You have to be able to pick up on when is the right time, because timing is everything, right? You might see, like, there's many times where I've been at different events, social gatherings, or just honestly been at a coffee shop and bumped into somebody who was very successful or someone I looked up to. And it's about the approach too. You have to think about how many times these people get hit up daily or constantly, or to have people ask them for things, So like one thing I've always kept in mind is, like, when you're networking or you're trying to get an opportunity from somebody, it's about what value can you provide that person, instead of asking, what can you give, which is an approach that most people don't do. Most people, when they meet someone, say, yo, can you check out my mixtape? Oh, yo, can you give me a job? Yo, can you? It's like, no, like, hey, I really respect what you do. This is what I'm working on. I would love to see how I can provide value to you. Honestly, 90% of the time this is a cheat code right here I'm giving out, but 90% of the time, like I feel like obviously you have to go about, reading the room and approaching it the right way. Usually that never fails, and it's, even if it's not, them giving you their number or giving you their email or anything, that's, at least that's a point of contact. They can remember that, I can guarantee someone will remember that 9 times out of 10 more than someone who asked them for something, So, just look to always add value first when you're networking or talking with people, and and I feel like it's important to not brag too much, like, honestly, like when you ask me, like, in the beginning, I don't, like, you can ask Kadeen, like, I'm not really a talker. Like, what I'm saying? I don't really, I always believed in letting the work speak for myself. Like, when people ask me what I do, I do this and do that, but, like, I'm not that type of person, and for the most part, it's worked out in my favor, because I feel like, the loudest person in the room is usually the person who feels like they have something, like they have to overcompensate, so let the work speak for itself. That's what I like to say. And
I don't really like to force anything. When you got it and when you are sure in what you have, you don't really have to force a vibe. So I never was like the type, and I don't really knock people who do it, because there's so many ways, there's so many methods to doing things. But I know for me, I was never the type to like spam people or, just do anything like that. I just kind of, read upon things, and I would look up any city that I was in or, living in at the time. I would look up to see what was going on in that area, and really see that way. Now we have internet, so you can really do a lot of things from the comfort of your own home or your own spot, your own like environment. So there's a lot of ways online. You can get your stuff out there effectively without really kind of being thirsty with it, you know. But I mean, it always helped. But I know for me, it's just I've always just had an organic build. And I'm not afraid to have, you know, I wasn't afraid to have 60 likes or even 6 likes. You know, you just continue to keep being consistent in what you're doing. And it'll build, you know, when you got it, it'll come to you.
Yeah. What advice can you give them for those who aspire to do what you do and hope to get into the industry?
Yeah. I mean, snap. I mean, first thing you could do is you can email me, Mayowa at TapinXR, and you could send me what you're working on. I'm always looking for creatives to work with. You know, honestly, like, you know, right now, especially with Tap In, because I'm super focused on doing stuff on the label side, is I'm looking for creatives and young entrepreneurs who want to help build that brand and build what we've already kind of help like elevate what we've already built. You know, and, you know, what I've realized too about this music industry is that like I had a conversation with one of my friends about this last night, who I really respect, who's doing some great things in the music industry, who's also Nigerian, is, you know, it's all about like the music industry is weird because it's all about how long you stay above water, you know, because at first you really don't get what you deserve. You know, you don't probably won't get paid what you want. You probably won't get the jobs you want right away. You know, you have to like really, really grind it out. And the ones who are winning right now are the ones who stayed above water, you know, waited for their time. That's another thing. Like, you got to wait for your time. Like, it's not always going to be your time, you know? So, you know, sometimes like, you know, sometimes it might be someone else's time to shine and you just have to fall back and play your role, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, first thing you do, like, feel free. Like, I'm always looking for young creatives, marketers, directors, producers, artists, anyone who's doing something in the creative space, wants to do some music. Like, I think it's important to, you know, pay it forward, because I had a lot of people give me opportunities who believed in me. And I want to do the same thing, especially for young Black creatives, you know, because right now we're blossoming, especially Nigerians too. Nigerians are going crazy in the music industry, crazy, you know? So, yeah, the first thing I would say that. And, you know, even if, you know, if you weren't looking for do something with me, I would just say like write down your 5 top, you know, people who you aspire to be in the music industry, and, you know, study them, like really study them down to the T. Like, you know, I don't consider it stalking, but like go through their Instagram, look who they talk to, look how they operate. Because like I said, success leaves trails, it leaves clues, you know, and if you dig hard enough, you know, you can find what you want. Like, you know, sometimes, you know, what I do is like people go on Instagram a lot and like, they'll just go there and they'll be scrolling and, you know, they'll just be like, get brain dead because they're just looking at all this gossip and news. But like, what I actually do is when I'm on Instagram, if I'm on Instagram, because I'm not really on it that much right now, posting at least, I'll literally go on there for the mindset to go study people, like, because people are actively posting. So instead of going on the shade room or going on, you know, gossip or like, you know, I'll literally go on there, like, okay, what is so-and-so up today? And then I'll just keep clicking through their profile, going through their profile, look who they're working with, because there's always new people in the industry coming up, and you want to make sure you're tapped in and you know what's what and who's who. So, yeah, just use your time efficiently. If you're gonna be on social media. And I mean, yeah, I mean, that's really all that really comes to my mind. I feel like there's a lot more we could talk about, but that's what comes to my mind.
I'll give you the top 3 words to sum it up for one skill: crazy work ethic. I pride myself on just working hard. And sometimes it's not always fun, you know. my friends would be like, oh, come out, let's party, let's kick it. And I'm like, I'm in the studio. I really take a lot of sacrifice and discipline to kind of just keep moving up in my career. I'm usually the last person to go to sleep and the first one up. And I sow those seeds to get back the results that come with it. When you sow certain seeds, nothing is in vain. God will reward you. The universe will reward you. So I sow those type of seeds because I like to get crazy results like that.
And thank you so much for joining us on this panel Behind the Music. I hope the audience really enjoyed this because I know I did. So just again, thank you for your words of advice and see you later.